All right. Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So let's get into this. This is going to be a today's topic video, but we are going to do two different messages, one for the 7th and one for the 8th. So let's start out with the message for the 7th. All right. Here we go. What is the energy for the 7th? We have got the 10 of Pentacles. Well, that's beautiful. Hey, hey, AC. Thanks for being here, love. That's terrific. We've got celebration, 11 to 8. Hi. Um, a celebratory energy, family oriented. So the message for the 7th could be about like togetherness, about, spending time with family, about realizing that there's a lot of wealth in, you know, remembering what really makes us feel stable is when our, the people that we consider to be, our nearest and dearest, that little core group, when they're well, everything's well. When something's wrong with my baby, something is wrong with me. When something's not good with our family, that's when real stress breaks out. And family to me can be anybody that we pick up in our life that we care about. I personally am I use the definition of family very, very differently because anyone that I consider one of my people, that is under my umbrella of protection, then that's it doesn't matter if we're blood relatives or not. And likewise, I don't think just because you're blood relatives that you have to be close to somebody, or that they automatically have some special claim to you. I'm like, nope, you're a jerk, you're a jerk, whether we're related or not. But I feel like this energy is so nice. It's so beautiful. It's so strong. I just really wanted to expand the topic of what family is. We've got the Eight of Wands here. It is definitely a day where if a character needs support, it's a good day to reach out to family or to reach out to the people that we love, in case they need us. It's like maybe there's a reason to congregate all together because one of the, one of the group members needs some extra support. It's like, let's rally around. This could be a really heartwarming day to see, like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I was having a bad day, but now 5 people showed up at my house to bring me, whatever, support, cake, streamers. Let's celebrate a bad day and turn it into something better. Yeah, it just feels like there's something really positive, something to celebrate. We have 9 of Cups. It actually could be somebody's getting a win. Our lead character could be getting some kind of a success, and they're sharing that success with family members, and then pretty soon it's a telephone game where all the family members have reached out to each other, and they're all getting the same info, and they're all showing up to celebrate together somebody's good fortune, somebody's good turn of events. And I just feel like that makes it so much better. Whatever the good news is that's being shared, really what the good news is that there's people that care so much that they want to celebrate a good outcome. Now this could be anything. This could be doesn't have to happen on this day either. Let's say this is somebody sending out the invitations and like everybody's like RSVPing, like, oh my God, of course I'm going to be at your graduation. Of course I want to be there to support you. What kind of cake can I bring? What kind of, food can I bring? Who's doing the party? Whose house is it going to be at afterwards? We need to go out and celebrate. And that could just make somebody feel like $1,000,000. This could be our lead character, or this could be that our lead character is participating in this, but it's really good vibes. I personally, I think any time we get a chance to celebrate, we should celebrate as much as possible as humans. We got the Knight of Swords. This is coming up really fast. The plans are coming together really fast. The celebration event is coming up really fast. Somebody's a little bit shy, like, oh my God, I feel it could be that our character doesn't like to be the center of attention, and they're going to have to get over that because people want to celebrate them. Whatever this is, it could be that they're getting a win over a big injustice, and everybody is so thrilled and so happy about that. The 7 of Wands, there's a blockage. We saw this scribbled up there. It says no justice. But instead, I think that we're going to have a big celebration after somebody was, stuck, or this could have been a legal issue. And this could be a divorce party, right? This could be somebody saying, I finally signed the divorce papers. I feel so relieved, and like a group of friends are going, all right, we are seriously going to throw a divorce party, like as if it were a gigantic birthday party. We're gonna party. It feels like there's a really valid reason to celebrate, and it's because somebody has not had permission to celebrate in a long time. Let me just see a little bit more about who this is, what this is. Two of Pentacles. It was something, that was being juggled. Somebody's future was up in the air, and now they're not. Now we know for sure this is happening. This is being completed. This is all going to work out. Five of Wands. I definitely feel like they have got so many people on their side. Whomever our character is, if our character has had the chip stacked against them, or if they were stuck arguing, fighting with somebody that was just really awful, let me tell you, the whole family or the whole group of friends have been on this character's side all this time and would very much like go to bat and protect this person as well. But thankfully, this is all just like, let's run amok and celebrate now. The Five of Wands can be thinking about stuff, analyzing stuff, but this is like the whole group wants to hear the whole story. Like, okay, so then what happened? How did this all get worked out? Let's celebrate all of this. Let's get to all the details here. I don't know. This feels like a wonderful, celebratory, let's party into the night kind of energy. And there's a very valid reason to celebrate. I love this for our character. I love the camaraderie around them. I love everything about this. Nine of Pentacles. I feel like someone is having their wealth restored to them, their business restored to them, their freedom restored to them. If they were embroiled in a legal issue and their funds got frozen or whatever might have happened, all of that is being restored to them, and they're feeling single, healthy, happy, abundant. This could be a divine feminine who is, like wrapping up a chapter in her life, and she's really loving her life again. So this energy is fabulous, absolutely fabulous for the 7th. Let's go ahead, and 7 is a divine number, so we would expect to have some good vibes. Let's go ahead and shift over to the energy for the 8th. I feel like I want to immediately get there because I think let's let her just enjoy what's going on the 7th, right? Okay, but the energy of the 8th, this doesn't mean it has anything to do with the same person. This is a totally different message here. But we do have the 9 of Swords. The energy of the 8th, we have someone who's got some pretty big distress. Now, they've made quite a mess of their flowers. Their flower petals are everywhere. We've got a Page of Wands. This is somebody who's maybe, normally a Page of Wands would be, a spark of inspiration, of desire, but certainly we have him coming in like a medic. So maybe somebody is, a heart is hurting or they're distressed and they could really use some help. It's crazy because on the 7th, it's like all this support for positive reasons. And then on the 8th, it's like sometimes the reverse is true. Sometimes one of our, group mates needs a little bit of extra loving and support. Let me come in and check on you. Let me call a friend. Let me reach out to the people that I care about and ask how they're doing. We got the 9 of Cups. This actually is super positive. I feel like if we have a feminine who's having kind of a sad day, she may receive a message from a masculine who's just like, hey, how are you? I was just thinking about you today. And that could really like make her day. I would think that the bigger message here, and I love the fact that these are like two different bookends of the same story, right? On the 7th, it's like celebrate the people in our group when they're doing great things and they're having the time of their life. And then also remember on the days where one of our group mates might not be having a good day, remember to reach out then too. It's such a nice, the nice reminder that on any given day, we have things to celebrate. And on any given day, we have moments where we might need to reach out to check up on our people. We've got the Wild card here, and we've got that High Priestess in the reverse. I kind of feel like she's going to be aware that there is a stronger bond, that somebody really cares about her. If somebody's reaching out to you, thinking about you, checking up on you, she may be like, I can't believe that they knew I was having a rough moment on the 8th. I don't know how somebody knew that. How'd they know to reach out? That's crazy. This is there is a new bond here, or she's looking at them with new eyes. Like, what a sweet thing that somebody, they thought of me. Huh. How could they have known that I did need somebody to put my worried mind at ease today of all days? It really is. It's just really, really nice to see that sense of awareness. We have the Eight of Wands upright. Eight of Wands upright is, I want to talk to them more now too. Okay, so a bond is forming on the 8th. It's between a feminine who was having a pretty crummy day, who then had someone unexpectedly reach out to her. And I feel like not only does it make her feel really special, but she realizes that there's something here. She doesn't know what it is yet. Maybe this person's going to be a friend, or maybe this person is attracted to her. Now, I would argue that they're attracted to her just because that's the Page of Wands, and that's a spark of inspiration, but oftentimes it's also a spark of desire. And, why do we pay attention? Like, let's say she came in late to work, or let's say she didn't come into work that day. And this is a colleague who calls her on the lunch break or swings by her house after work and is like, hey, I just want to check up on you. It could be like, I didn't even know you'd notice I wasn't at work. First off, how sweet is that? How nice is that you did that? She may then realize, wow, I'm on their radar. Well, I want to talk to them. Maybe not till I feel better, but I want to talk to them because this feels really amazing. There's something brewing here. It's like on the 8th, there's some sign, some signal that a feminine is going to have that there is somebody out there that cares about her. And it comes about like on a day where she's stressed out. And it is very much like, wow, they're on my wavelength. I didn't realize that until now. Now I can't wait to see them. Now I can't wait to talk to them more. Queen of Pentacles. So she could be a Queen of Pentacles. That could be a Virgo, Capricorn, or a Taurus. It definitely makes her feel more grounded. Like she can reach out to them. Like she can talk to them now. And like she can, go ahead and, like open up to them a little bit because clearly they reached out to her. What are the circumstances around this? Tell me about him reaching out. The Tower. I don't know if he's reaching out because necessarily he's like, I wonder how she is, or if it simply is he let go of any ego or worry that he had. I mean, sometimes we need to find a reason to like step up and be a hero. And it's like, okay, I've liked this Queen of Pentacles for a while, but I wasn't going to like make a move on her because I was shy to do that. But if I'm worried about her, or if I think she's having a bad day, now I feel like I can drop my ego because I have a purpose. Like I can come in and check up on her, or I can do something kind, just from human to human. I can step more into her world, make my presence known in her life a little bit. It feels a little bit like that. Like he feels empowered enough to do this now. And before he didn't. But it also changes the dynamics between this feminine and this masculine. He could be an Aries, doesn't have to be. He definitely comes across as a fire sign. He could be like an EMT, or he has a background in medicine in some capacity. He could be somebody who's by nature a bit of a hero. We've got the Six of Cups in the reverse. It's interesting because these two are not like past life soulmates. So it's even more interesting that they have like in her mind, she's like, wow, they have some kind of a bond to my mind. We've got the Magician upright. We've got the Five of Pentacles upright. This comes across like, I don't know, there's this vibe of like whatever it is that he feels drawn to her, he definitely is picking up, and this could be his magical power. Maybe he picks up on vibes of, when people are kind of like having a bad day, maybe he has like a sixth sense about that. Or maybe it's just because it's her and he's tuned into her, and he's been wanting to manifest an opportunity to get to know her. But they feel like these are like new acquaintances, not like they are past life lovers or anything like that, but more like they are new acquaintances. But he's wanted to get to know her better. He's definitely had her on his radar from what I can see here. But there's a nice opportunity for him to reach out, just as pure human kindness. I mean, that's what it is, right? Why do we ever reach out to each other? Because we're humans, because we have empathy. That's what we're made of. That's what we're supposed to be made of anyway. Having empathy, having compassion, understanding that other humans might be going through things, and we're not in these weird, like, hermetically sealed capsules where, I don't need to think about another person on earth and what they might be going through. Like, that's just not how we're made. We're all compassionate. I mean, you see it even amongst like animals that'll sometimes, reach out to each other, and even in different species, and help each other out at times, like the dog who saves a turtle from drowning and stuff. That's just a natural, normal, like, human compassion, human empathy, to want to emote, to want to care about another person. And that's why we reach out, and that's why we pay attention to each other. But in this story, he's also got an attraction for her, but he's also aware, like, empathically, of when somebody could use a little bit of help. I don't think she was sending out a distress signal or anything, except in some small way, maybe just because he's astute, or maybe because he's attracted to her, he was noticing the subtleties of her, which just speaks really kindly, perhaps, of how sensitive he might be. When he cares about somebody, when he's drawn to somebody, that he pays attention to the little details about them. He clearly wants to get to know her, and this just looks like a really nice way for him to, want to, or have the opportunity to say, there's a bigger reason. I don't need to feel like shy or nervous coming toward her. I want to, because she's a human and I'm a human, and I can sense there's a little bit of, sorrow here, and I care as a human to another human. I think it's beautiful. I feel like this is the beginning of a relationship for the two of them, but let's just see. Universe, is there a potential something for these two to start blossoming? We have 9 of Cups and we have Ace of Cups. Yeah, there's a potential. There's a potential for love. There's a potential for real sharing. There's a potential for real emotion. There's a potential for, great happiness, and it feels good to, like, be recognized, and it feels good to be supported, and it feels good to love another person. So is there a potential? There's the greatest potential that this could blossom into something very real. It seems very divine. It feels like it's based off of truly caring about another person, and, like, wanting to see them happy, wanting to see them smile, because we care about their well-being. It's a very sweet energy on this. Okay, now let's go ahead and pull a card or two for the 2 birthdays that would be associated with these. And 11-8, thank you, sweetheart. You're so sweet. Oh, you are so kind. Thank you, love. Um, let's go ahead and take a look here. All right, here we go. So what is the energy here for someone whose birthday is on the 7th? Here we go. We've got the integration of spirit. So that's the King of Wands. We've got the Ace of Cups in the reverse. So for someone whose birthday is on the 7th, it's kind of interesting because we've got a King of Wands whose heart is really open, but he's sitting here and he's observing a feminine who perhaps is either not offering him love, or he is looking at someone and saying, God, she's amazing. She doesn't know it though. Maybe she's not practicing enough self-love right now. He sees the beauty in her, but maybe she doesn't in her own self at the moment. Or we have a 3 of Pentacles. Well, she's about to, I'm going to say, be visited by this this honeybee. If she's a beautiful flower, he just might be the honeybee, because we've got somebody out here tending their bees. But the Three of Pentacles is somebody wants to work with her. She may not think there's anybody on her radar. It doesn't have to be a she. I'm just going off of what we see on the cards here. But she doesn't have to assume that there's anybody on her radar at all. And yet, sometimes, they always say the greatest tragedy in life is that we'll never know how much different people love us, because many people will never tell us. And so, everybody on earth is walking around with somebody who loves them, and they don't know it. I think, thankfully, our character is going to find out. So there could be an unexpected, offer of love, or a kindness, or a compliment that comes our character's way at some point in time. Or, of course, they could be the King of Wands, who is going to be choosing to step forward. And sometimes it's just giving a stranger a compliment, telling them, I see you every day when I walk by. I just had to tell you, love whatever that is that you do, love the way you dress, love, sometimes it's a passing compliment, or telling somebody that they're amazing, because every single person really is amazing. We all have our own unique talents, our own unique gifts. It just feels like both of these days seem to be like times to express to other human beings, you're amazing, you're awesome. If there's affection, if there's love, it's like both of these days seem to have a lot of support surrounding them, and support for a variety of different reasons. It's all about like empathy is what I would say. And even for that birthday message, we carried on that theme there. Okay, let's pull a card or two for a birthday on the 8th. Here we go. We've got the Prince of Pentacles. Prince of Pentacles is slow moving but consistent energy. This is somebody who is, even, it's ironic because this is our slowest moving energy, and yet what's he making here? The wheel. And what does a wheel do? It speeds up everything. You can go really fast distances if you spin those wheels fast enough. So we have someone who's not destined to stay in that slower moving energy for very much longer. Life is going to speed up. Things are going to start to turn. They could have a real positive turn on the wheel of fortune. We have Temperance, and again, circles, and we have the Wheel of Fortune, again, circles. I don't know what the deal is with circles, but it's a day full of them, which is awesome. It could be that our character winds up having round birthday cake. They could see lots of round things, anything from like rings to eyeglasses to coins, or it could talk about that, that never-ending cycle of life. And that's what a birthday is, right? It denotes that we've just passed by another mile marker, but our cycle begins all over again. This is saying that our character has already achieved quite a lot in their life, and to maybe pause at least long enough to say, man, what am I content with? Lots and lots of things. What kinds of things have I been building and growing? What kinds of cycles have I been completing in my life, only to start back over a little wiser each time? How have I, I'll say, like, gained wisdom every time, I orbit around, the world again and again in my solar return? I feel like we have a character that is achieving kind of like the next cycle. Like, this is somebody's big awakening. It just happens to coincide maybe with their birthday, but I feel like it's going to be a pretty momentous birthday. Maybe it is like a round number birthday. It's like a mile marker. It's 40, it's 50, maybe there's a 0 in there. But I feel like, sorry guys, I'm going to choke for a second. I feel like we have a character who's realizing that orbiting through is, we do it so many times, but every time we pass, we learn something, and then one day we kind of are in like a new bracket. We've transformed, or we've achieved the next level of our evolution, and it just feels like this is going to be a particularly awesome decade. And I don't know why, but I feel like this character is going to live into their hundreds. I'm just seeing the 3 zeros, 3 placement holders, and I'm like, are we headed for well over 100? Is this a character who's going to live like a really, really, really long life? That's how it comes across to me, because those circles are like screaming at me still. There's something here about, this is the next best chapter of our character's life. It's going to be more peaceful. It's going to be interesting because it's slower on one hand, but it's also because they've just stepped up the next rung. That's the part that speeds up, and then they get into this really peaceful. I could feel like somebody is like retiring this year, or will be retiring from some kind of like busier lifestyle and being able to maybe devote themselves more to the things that they really love. I always think of this as like a candy maker or a taffy maker or something. A character could start doing more of the hobbies that they love, but it could also turn into a side hustle or something where it almost feels effortless, like they step into the next chapter of their life and it just flows. Very nice energy. I love that. Oh, Slave Princess, that's wonderful. Who is it that's going to be 89 tomorrow? I'm backtracking. I didn't get to see whose birthday it is, but your aunt. Oh, that's wonderful. Happy birthday to your auntie. I love that. 11 to 8, I love that too. In East Asian culture, the larger your earlobes, the longer you live. That's beautiful. Hi, AC. Carl, good to see you. Yes, 100. That's a good number, isn't it?